Live long and prosper.
I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Shut up and take my money.
By Grabthar's hammer, what a saving.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Winter is coming.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Stay a while and listen.
Hey, old Kermit Frog.
Your ties are cool.
So say we all.
This is a Play on Nerds.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, to a very special episode of A Play on Nerds, episode 227, in fact. I'm Jarman.
And I'm Jarman? You're me? What's happening?
I'm not myself, that's for certain.
You're Steve.
I'm Steve, and we're here to fucking party. I'm so tired.
Me too. Oh, God.
If you can't hear it in our voice, you can feel it in our attitude.
In our bones.
You can hear them creak over the microphone.
Good.
Damn this high quality.
If we could talk to ourselves 11 years ago when we started this podcast, oh, God, the troubles we'd get into.
Just troubles.
What are we talking about this week, Steve?
Well, we would effectively reboot our lives if that were the case. And this week we honor another reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Much anticipated, triumphant return to screens. I Know What You Did Last Summer is finally coming back.
Oh, yeah.
We honor it this week with a rule of 3. That's right. I know what you're saying. When the hell did they make a third I Know What You Did Last Summer movie? The answer is 2006 with, as we review, I'll always know what you did last summer.
It sounds romantic.
It does. It feels like a book that would have Fabio on the cover.
I'll always know what you did last summer.
Oh, take me, Fabio.
Okay.
God. Watch out for that bird, Fabio.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Timely references here.
Yes. Too soon?
But before we talk about I'll always know what you did last summer, let's talk about what we're doing this summer. Sherman, what have you been up to since the last time we talked?
I'm actually upset that you have a bit this week, so I was like, oh, a great bit idea will be I'll just give Steven a trivia quiz on what actually happened last summer, like current events and pop culture.
I don't know.
But
I don't know what I did last summer.
Besides the boringness of work, I saw Superman last week, right after we did our podcast episode about it. Did you get to see Superman?
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
No, we are hoping to go see it in Cape May also. We're hoping to get Christian and Sarah to go with us.
Okay, gotcha. It was, I will say, without any spoilers, a lot of fun. A common thread is that it seems like it just moves kind of fast. There's not a lot of time to breathe. But otherwise, really enjoyed it. Really, the essence of it, really enjoyed. But we'll talk more about it once you see it. We'll have a little discussion.
Okay. We'll talk.
But other than that,
see how it stacks up to Superman 3.
Yeah, exactly. With Richard Pryor.
There's a distinct lack of Richard Pryor in this film.
Surprisingly, even though he's dead, they could have, done something. CGI.
I give this film 1 out of 5 Richard Pryors.
But 14 Gary Buseys.
That's out of 100.
That's not very many. But I am tired because I've been working so much because I'm going on a trip soon. So I'm trying to cram all these audiobooks that were due by the end of the month to before we leave. And also trying to get my TikTok channel up to par. And I've had every technical problem known to man pop up. It's like laughable. Things just stop working or things don't work the way they're supposed to. I've had to buy new parts and connectors and dongles and all this other crap. And it's just insane. And so I'm not in a great mood, but I'm in a happier mood that I need to take a break, just do this podcast and not work. And
how do these young people do it?
They make it seem so easy. And
God damn it, we're old. This is it. We found the threshold.
I get this. This is the joke. The fastest one I can explain, which is a silly problem. I saved to get this expensive 4K webcam for putting my booth permanently, so I can make videos and live streams from my booth with this 4K webcam and not have to take my phone out of there every time, because that's you have to mount your phone and it's just a pain in the butt. And so it turns out, you can look this up. I've done extensive research. There is zero way to record that webcam into 4K video onto your computer. You can live stream in 4K, if you get to the right places where you're allowed to live stream, but you cannot record that video to your computer in 4K for some reason. It is unknown to me. So it turns out that no matter what I do, my phone is my only option to actually record 4K video, unless I get like $1,000 DSLR 4K camera, which is what the top YouTubers and shit use. This thing was like, I think $300. So now I have this expensive webcam I haven't put up yet. Right now, Steve's watching me through my old cheap one. But it's just insane. And then just cables breaking.
You look so low quality right now.
I know, it's terrible. So I'm at my wit's end. But finally, I'm just like, I have to work. I have to do real work and not worry about this channel for a bit, because it's driving me nuts. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. No sleep. What are you up to, Steve?
Well, I had a birthday.
Yeah.
Last time we recorded, but it was a Muppet Trek, so we didn't really talk about it. It was my birthday. And didn't do much, worked on my birthday, but because I just had a bunch of days off for the 4th of July. So that's lovely. We did get to go to Kennywood on the Sunday after. Local theme park, and it was hot as hell. And it was so hot, but we got a few rides in. And then went to my parents' place. We went to my brother's place. We celebrated my dad's birthday. Big Dale's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And then I've been working a bunch and late days because I am about to take a vacation.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because of some factors, it's busy season. So it's just, choices were made. Now I'm busy. But it'll be good to get away from it. It's going to make me extra value the vacation. But I also know the pit fire I will come back to after.
How long's the vacation for?
Technically 9 days.
Ooh, very nice. That's a decent chunk.
We will. Yeah. So Friday, we're going to get up stupendously early and head to Cape May, New Jersey, which is on the southern tip of the Jersey coast. And is a place that my mom took us when I was like my kid's age. So it's a big, nostalgia driven event.
Yeah. I never even heard of Cape May until you talked to me about it.
But yeah, so we get to do that, but I got to survive one more long, hearty day of work.
Your hearty day of work.
Your hearty day of work.
Not too bad.
But after the long day I've had, I could really do with some good news.
Oh, yeah. How about that?
It's time for Nerdy News.
All right, some nerdy news for you guys. Unfortunately, not good news, especially for Mr. Jarman, because something I watch every morning, Jolie calls it my stories, is I watch the YouTube basically recasts of the monologues of all the different late night shows that come on here in the States. But my favorites are Jimmy Kimmel and my absolute favorite, Stephen Colbert. And I'll watch The Daily Show sometimes and Seth Meyers. I just ignore Jimmy Fallon because I don't find him that funny. But Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart obviously are some of my favorites. But CBS has announced just before this episode started that we're recording today, on Thursday, the 17th of July, they are canceling The Late Show. So they are not replacing Stephen Colbert. They are canceling The Late Show entirely. It was a show that started, I believe, with David Letterman after he was on the show after the Tonight Show, after Johnny Carson. They gave him his own show called The Late Show. And then once he left, Stephen Colbert took over. It was a big deal. They're not even replacing Stephen Colbert. They're just saying, this is what their statement says. CBS says, "We consider Stephen Colbert irreplaceable and will retire the Late Show franchise in May of 2026. So in May, they're making this happen next year. So about 10 months. We are proud that Stephen called CBS home. He and the broadcast will be remembered in the pantheon of greats that graced late night television. This is purely a financial decision against a challenging backdrop in late night. It is not related in any way to the show's performance, content, or other matters happening at Paramount." And some people are thinking it's just the era of late night shows are kind of coming to an end, where people just aren't watching them enough, or they're like me and they're watching them on YouTube the next day and no one's watching them on broadcast television. I don't know, Steve. What do you think's causing this kind of thing to happen?
I mean, I can tell you that I have not watched a late show probably a decade or more, realistic.
You mean like when it came on TV?
Yeah, like because we have not had cable or really traditional television in 14 years at least.
Yeah, same.
And so because all that stuff is A, not syndicated, or B, not available because we don't do the live TV package stuff that's as expensive as cable. We just like, when would I see it? I see clips and stuff on YouTube and on Reddit and whatnot.
Yeah.
And some of it's funny, but I don't know. Like, is it worth having that show to shill movie stars through?
Right.
And then my question becomes, what takes that place? Like, where is Scarlett Johansson going to do a circuit of?
Podcasts.
Yeah, maybe.
That's where they're all kind of going anyway. They're doing the podcast circuit. They do these long interviews. And I just think that network television is going to be a thing of the past, too. There are going to become streaming networks, and we're not going to really have broadcast channels anymore, I don't think, eventually, because no one will have that technology. Barely anyone has antennas anymore. I mean, it's still there. People still have it who have no streaming service whatsoever. Unfortunately, probably the very poor still have a broadcast antenna, and that's it. But I mean, you have to be without internet, without any kind of streaming, so you can't have YouTube. YouTube is free. So if you have internet, then it's free. So that's only barrier to entry. So I don't know. I think it's just a sign of things that come. Depressing.
Yeah.
But also okay, because, yeah, do we still need these celebrities coming on these shows to shill their movies like you said? I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you're right. The podcast thing is that right now, but who knows if that'll stay.
It's only gotten bigger, surprisingly, just in different kind of forms. And a lot of video podcasts are now a big deal, too. And then they make clips from the video podcast to put out on different things. But it's like celebrities.
That means we need more streaming services doing that style. That's what that means.
Like a whole streaming service of just video podcasts?
No. I'm talking about like late night shows.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, move the whole thing to streaming.
Or maybe something in between.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scaled down, no studio audience.
Totally not necessary. Yeah, I agree.
Host, some comedy, few bits, celebrity, more involved interview. Bam.
There is something too, though, the monologue. I'm going to miss that aspect of the show. The audience laughing. There's a monologue, like a stand-up segment every night that's about current events. That is something that is unique to those late shows.
That's true.
And I will miss that monologue aspect. That's why that's the thing I'd always watch. It's just the monologue video on YouTube, and I not watch the celebrity guest at all. I just watch the monologue every time.
I mean, that tough but true.
So anyways, that's my depressing, dirty news.
All right, well, Stephen Colbert, it's not you, it's them.
So we know what he does next summer. He does nothing because he'll be out of the job.
Well, yeah. Well, also, he'll probably have to sign some sort of like non-compete agreement thing that like Conan did, where he couldn't appear on television for X amount of time. And that's why he started doing the podcast.
Well, also for him, he couldn't do another broadcast channel. That's why he was able to do his TBS show for a long time. I think that's what it was originally. So he kind of snuck into TBS because it wasn't a broadcast channel. But anyways, we'll see. Colbert's going to do some awesome stuff, I'm sure. But that brings to our main segment.
I'll always know what you did last summer. It's 4th of July at the town carnival. Everyone's having fun, playing games and telling scary stories about the fisherman. Just then, he appears. Teenagers scatter in panic as the killer makes chase. There's a kid on a skateboard who we met minutes earlier, but whose death we're really supposed to care about. He is chased up on the roof by the fisherman. He does a solid, sweet skateboard trick and then falls off the roof. It turns out it was all a prank, with the hooked killer revealing to be one of his friends. They're in costume. Oh, they're going to all meet up. But where's skateboard guy? Oh, he's dead from being impaled on a pole.
Womp womp.
The group is like hurt and suspicious of how it went wrong. They agree to maintain that the fisherman is real and that PJ was his victim. Colby, the sort of blonde ringleader, has to cut himself to maintain the secret. And they all say, the secret dies with us. They burn all the evidence. Suddenly, it's like, I don't know, like a year later, probably a little less.
Yeah.
Amber is at the gravestone of PJ, but then she gets this eerie feeling that she's getting watched. She heads to the barn party. Amber is really excited and talks about going to join Colby at college in the big city. She turns around and he's there. He decided to move back to town and not tell her. Amber is heartbroken. She turns down a ride from the cool guy Lance and drives home. She gets in a minor fender bender, but luckily a local police officer finds her and he makes her very uncomfortable because he stands really way too close to her, and it makes her even more suspicious because she should be, because he was way too close to her. Amber sulks while reading a note that her parents will be out of town. She suddenly wakes up in the night from a start. She wanders to the kitchen. A radio alarm clock blares and scares her. Then her phone goes off. It's a text that says, I know what you did last summer 50 times. And she's getting charged by the text. Early 2000s. Amber visits each member of the murder gang, or I guess manslaughter gang, starting with the dark grunge Zoe, who now is a leader of a rock band. Amber says she got the text, she freaked out, and she wants to stay with Zoe, and Zoe agrees. The next day, they go to meet Roger, the prankster, who is in the fisherman costume on his summer job at a ski lift. He's depressed and reclusive. She shows him the message, and they all try to blame each other and blame other people for who told. The girls chat, but then they get spooked by the sheriff, and also PJ's dad is there, which is weird. Zoe goes to find Colby at the pool. They argue about, once again, just who cracked. The middle part of the movie is just people blaming each other. It's great. Drying on the pavement as Colby climbs back into his chair is the phrase, I know what you did. Out in the middle of nowhere, someone is riding a bike. It's Amber, I guess, I wrote.
For some reason.
She goes to take some pictures and comes back to find her tires slashed, but a storm is rolling in and she's forced to take shelter in an abandoned Alpine Village ski lift thing. She is spooked by the lift worker who has a crowbar, not a hook. It was a big mislead. He also stands way too close to her and then says he will get her a lift. She goes down in one of the gondola carts. She sees the fisherman in a passing cart, but then lights flash and the gondola shakes. It's the fisherman. He breaks the window and then just leaves, I guess.
For some reason. Once again,
in the middle of the air, just goes away. Amber goes and meets with Zoe and Colby. They still don't believe her. Elsewhere, Roger is taking pills and drinking. He has the big hook from the prank that he didn't get rid of. But then he hears something. It's the fisherman. He hides in between the gondolas, grabbing a skill saw to fight the fisherman. But the fisherman slices his throat, leaving blood on the skill saw to make it look like an accident. Also, he was actively committing suicide, so there's also conveniently a note for plot reasons.
Right.
Colby and the girls find Roger's body, but suddenly the cop is there. The cop is suspicious because Roger seemed odd and blah, blah, blah. But there's a note, so they're off the hook, I guess. The teens return back to Zoe's grunge lair to find a cutout message on the wall. Soon. They go to talk to Lance, the cool guy, who reveals that the sheriff came asking about some kind of secret. Amber grabs some stuff to stay at Zoe's again, but her window is open. Spooky music. Zoe, meanwhile, hears crazy feedback from her rock and roll speakers. I wrote that phrase. And the fisherman just kills her, murders her. And he has the face of PJ, and it's a dream. She wakes up with a start. The fisherman gets her again. It's another dream.
Dreamception.
How can we trust anything in this movie? She finds her guitar strings cut and her furniture has all been slashed. Amber elsewhere is spooked, but then Lance is suddenly there. He knows what they did last summer, but it wasn't him who did all the bad stuff. He got a message scratched on his bike, just like him. I think it just said, you know. which was really dumb.
Yeah. Really dumb.
It really was. Meanwhile, at the pool, Colby is swimming. He thinks he sees something, but nothing there. He goes back. Suddenly, the fisherman's hook catches through his ankle. He swims to escape, bleeding and limping. The teens all sulk and decide to go see the deputy from earlier. But they get there, and he has a bunch of cops over for poker night. And PJ's dad's there. They leave. They decide to blow town, but Zoe reveals there will be a big agent at the 4th of July show. She can't just miss it. Lance and Amber finally hook up because it's what we were all waiting for, I guess. Colby heads to the big celebration, limping along the way. We meet Lance and Amber. They watch the concert because even though they were going to get out of town because this guy was definitely going to murder them, now they're just all back.
Yep.
Why did that story beat even need to happen? Colby gets to like a closed bar and starts to get wasted. Zoe sits in her dressing room. The others come to congratulate her, but the fisherman is there. They flee into a locker room. Zoe gets separated and murdered. Somehow they get separated in a locker room. The sheriff is there. He is then also murdered. Then the fisherman's after Colby, who runs through a kitchen to escape. Colby then gets murdered and thrown into a dumpster. But the deputy from earlier is there. Roger spilled the beans just last week. He knows what they did last summer. They blame him, but then he's murdered. But it isn't him. The fisherman is there. The fisherman, though, in this exchange gets shot with a shotgun twice and manages to hook the deputy through the groin. It's real good. This leaves no other character in the story that we have met before this point, which brought me to the point of who the fuck is the murderer then? We have met no one else. Well, they're about to tell us with disappointment. They run over the fisherman with a car, and we finally see the fisherman's face, and apparently he is an actual demon. That's right. No longer a man like in the movies, a demon.
Undead.
It is the legend. They head to the vehicle maintenance building. Just a bunch of like big utility vehicles in there. But the fisherman is hot on their trail. They try to hit him with an engine in like the most clumsily put together trap ever. So he dodges it because it's shitty. They attack wildly. They hide just extra hard this time. But the fisherman is there again. Lance duels him with hooks, but loses and gets stabbed. Amber goes and tries to get into it like a snow thresher. But the fisherman rips her out of there. She struggles. Lance shoots him. Amber grabs the hook and pops him right in the top of the head and pushes him into the thresher, which grinds him up to bits. It is some amount of time later. Amber finally moved to LA with Lance when she has car trouble while traveling through Nevada. She gets out to check. Then she has that same sinking feeling grabbing her from within that she is being watched. Blackout, end of movie, thank God.
Well, you see the fisherman for a split second. Yeah, and then it goes black
really?
out.
It must have been split enough that I blinked.
Yeah, it was pretty fast.
So I didn't really know this movie existed until we looked up like a rule of like a movie with franchises with at least 3 movies thing and found it.
Yeah, because we were it was about the reboot for I Know You Did Last Summer, so it worked.
Did you see either of the first 2?
I know I saw the first one. I don't remember if I saw the second one or not. But I remember the title being "I Still Know What You Did Last Summer" and thought that was funny. I don't remember this existing either because it went straight to video apparently. So it was not.
I mean, no doubt, this went straight to video.
But of course they made another one but then there's reasons for that we'll get into with the trivia section later. But why we didn't know about this one, but. So some good things about this flick.
Yeah, good things.
I was surprised the acting wasn't actually that bad from any of the actors. Nobody was really terrible, even though I didn't recognize anybody in this film.
Yeah, you're right. The writing was bad, but none of the acting was like wooden or out of place or
like,
too disjointed.
They were all pretty young actors too, and they were all going for it. Apparently the Zoe actress, I recognized her, but she's been in, I think it was Vampire Diaries. She's really big in that.
Oh, okay.
Or it was Gossip Girl. I don't remember which one it was. One of those two shows. I think it was
Gossip Diaries.
Gossip Diaries. One of those like teen shows from the 2010s. She got real big in that, but then she hasn't made anything else really. But everyone else's movie, I tried looking up, and there's not much of anything. They did not go very far. It's always bad when we look up one of these obscure movies, one of the actors, and it says best known for, and this one is in there. It's like, oh, that's a bad sign.
The main actress who played Amber does have a really pretty extensive IMDb page, but it's all like onesie twos. Like she's a working actress who has done
like a CSI and stuff like that.
Yeah, lots and lots of 1 episode, 2 episode.
Hey, working actors, the heart of the industry right there. So that's good. What's one good thing you thought about it? You really dig deep.
So here's what I'll say. I remember because I watched first 2 movies because Jennifer Love Hewitt was a major crush growing up.
Oh, yeah,
so of course I saw. And then Sarah Michelle Gellar was in the first one.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yes, please. So what? My wife is shaking her head as she walks in the room. She knows. She knows the score. And so of course I saw them, and I know that it was a dude. Both of them, it was just a dude. The first one was a vengeful guy that they thought was dead and wasn't, and the second one was someone's father or son, maybe.
I don't remember.
Of the guy that was getting extra revenge on them. And so I was like, okay, so this is a different story. So it's going to be a guy. And so it was like, okay, who was wrong? The father, blah, blah, blah. But then they set up the police chief so hard that I went, okay, well, it can't be him.
Right.
And then they had the deputy guy who was like really too close to her and really played weird. And I was like, okay, so it's probably him then. But then they were like, oh, we want you to think it's Lance. And I was like, okay, it might be Lance. Yeah. And so like, it was good for a little bit to have that.
Mm-hmm.
This was only completely kicked in the nuts when they revealed that the fisherman is now actually a demon.
Especially when this is coming out during the time of Scream, where it also was always just one of the humans in the movie was definitely the mask guy. You know, like it was always, he was one of them. So you're expecting it to be, maybe they thought that would be a good turn, you know, that's actually really a demon, but no, that really wasn't interesting. But I put that the limited gore that they actually had was pretty good, but it was also kind of shot in the foot that almost, if you notice, every major gore scene was after the person was killed and they were able to set that shot up and make it look really pretty. Then they did a shot of the dead body. That's the only gore you really kind of saw in this movie.
Yeah.
And so they did that really well, but it was always just like, oh, they're already dead. Here's him impaled. We took like 4 hours to make this set and we're going to take some nice video of it, you know? So there wasn't any like moving gore or him actually killing people on screen. It was kind of like all off screen kind of deal.
Yeah, and that was probably a representation of the budget. And if anything, someone probably honestly made a good choice.
I think so too. That's smart for your budget. You know, that is very smart because it looked good, but yeah.
But I agree. Like maybe splurge a little bit and have one good murder, and then do the rest as reaction shot. You know, like
right.
But I definitely get that. Yeah, that was it.
Same. I only had 2 as well. I couldn't find more than 2.
Like, I've never seen ski lift gondolas featured more prominently in a motion picture.
More than one scene of ski gondolas.
There was at least 3 scenes of ski gondolas.
I did watch a Columbo episode the other night that had 2 scenes of ski gondolas. So that's about it's the extent, is you can have 2 or 3 scenes.
And that is why this movie is better than Columbo.
Nothing's better than Columbo. I put the editing and cinematography was really distracting for me. This, I think, director or something was trying to do a lot of weird artsy shots that were just flashing in your face a bunch. There was like dream sequency, strange shit too. And things were really dark, like too dark where you couldn't see what was going on all the time. I had to adjust the settings of my monitor to make sure it wasn't just me and my technology. It was poor decisions where it's like, just make a straightforward movie and you're just trying too hard to be artsy fartsy. So that really took me out of it too. I said it wasn't really scary.
No, I mean, once again, the mystery was what you were looking forward to.
Yeah.
I think they just grouped too many deaths too close to each other too late in the film.
Yeah.
There needed to be more throughout to space it, let the audience escalate, de-escalate, escalate, de-escalate. And instead it was like, 5 deaths. It's a demon. Okay, the movie over.
Movie over. Yeah, that's true. And like, but every time he was lurking around, it's like I always knew when the fisherman was going to show up on the screen. It was never a surprise when he popped up. They always like built up to it, so you knew it was happening. There was no jump scares that actually worked or scared me or anything. It was just nothing about this was like a horror movie for me. Just besides, there's a killer. Yeah, like more like a thriller that wasn't thrilling.
Well, if anything, I think that it being the demon was the only payoff that made the movie a little bit better, because there were so many times where I was like, what this guy is doing makes no sense. Like he hops from one gondola to another gondola, wrestles around, breaks a window, and then just leaves her. But now that I'm like, it's a demon, it can come and go where it wants, apparently show up wherever the hell it wants. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I guess it can do all the shit that it did.
It's just toying with her or something.
It didn't have to be a dude. So okay, there we go.
Yeah. Somehow he showed up on top of a gondola. That's just how it worked. Also, didn't really care for any of the characters. So I didn't really care if they lived or died. They weren't interesting. Like the main character was nice. She was the only nice one out of all of them, really, but she wasn't interesting. We didn't know anything about her outside of the story. So, except that she would like photography, I guess.
I don't know. I liked Lance. I thought Lance was at least interesting from like a character motivation perspective, and the actor who played him wasn't shit.
Yeah, none of the actors were shit. I agree with that.
Because he's the guy who died's cousin, so he's got that loyalty there, but he clearly loves Amber, which is why he wouldn't rat them out.
That's true. That's a little more interesting.
It's this big like dichotomy of guilt and shit, and so I'm like, okay, that's the one thing that I can be okay with.
Yeah, he might have had a little more depth than the rest. That's true. They were all kind of one-dimensional otherwise. But yeah, it's just also the movie wasn't bad enough to be a fun bad movie, and it wasn't good enough to be a good horror movie. So it kind of fell in that little shit territory where it's just this wasn't that enjoyable. Except for me, I don't know. That's just where I put it.
I feel like we've watched a few Rule of Threes worse than this.
Oh yeah, this wasn't bad.
No, but not good.
No. These are technical terms. Don't worry about it.
Technical terms. Watch it if you really just want to do it, I guess. But I wouldn't recommend it.
No, if you're a completionist and are watching the whole series before the new one comes out because you're crazy, go for it. Also, Jennifer Love Hewitt, seen her recently. She's still gorgeous. And we share the same birthday.
Yes, that is correct.
February 21st, me and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Now you know what to talk to her about when you meet her.
That's right. So some trivia for this movie. The movie was announced in 2000, so 6 years before it comes out. And it was originally meant to star Jennifer Love Hewitt, Brandy Norwood, and Freddie Prinze Jr. again. But that original script, which involved Jennifer, Brandy, and Freddie, was scrapped, and a whole new script was written. Despite the script being scrapped, Hewitt was rumored to have a cameo appearance in this new movie, but it never happened. Director Sylvan White, who became the final director of the film, was brought in as a last-minute replacement after the previous director was fired, and thus he had to cast the film, prep the locations, and devise the shooting schedule within just 2 weeks, which I think launched him into his career he has now. I looked him up. Huge TV director. He's done TV for like everything. So he's really good at getting something out there in a quick schedule. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just got to be getting out there. So I think this movie kind of proved him, because it was an early movie for him. He had like 2 other projects under his belt and then just had this movie, and now he's got a huge TV career. So good for him. It was originally proposed to continue where I Still Know What You Did Last Summer left off, but it languished in development hell for many years, as we said. Instead of the film being released in theaters, it was made as a direct-to-video movie without any of the original cast members. And the original scenes were shot in an actual carnival with actual carnival workers as extras. So that's fun. And as Steven noted that he hated, this is the only entry in the series to be supernatural in nature. The first 2 films involved a human killer with no supernatural abilities. And this one features a ghostly, demonic version of the killer from the first 2 films. So now we're left to wonder, because I don't think there was a 4th one, right? Before this new one coming out?
I don't think so.
So now with a new reboot / sequel, will it be a paranormal creature or will it be just a guy? That is the question we're all asking, folks. Who knows?
The people want to know.
And I don't think Steven and I are either going to see this movie when it comes out in theaters, so we'll find out in like a year when it's not streaming.
If Jennifer Love Hewitt is not in it, I will not.
She is in the new one, so that is a thing. She's in it.
I will see it then. Thrice.
But Steven, you have a bit for us today.
Oh man! So in honor of the urban legend of the fisherman, I've got a game called Legends or Lies.
Woo!
Where I've got both some real and fictitious, like folklore boogeymen.
Okay, I'm pretty up on
I'm
my folklore
give you the
boogeymen.
name, and you have to tell me if it is a legend or a lie.
Sounds good.
All right. All right, number 1, the Ragbone Man.
I'm pretty sure that's real, kind of a Louisiana thing.
That is fake. That's not real.
Fuck.
All right. The Grunch.
That sounds too unique to be fake. So I'm going to say it's real, but I don't know what it is.
It is real. So it is a small, hairless, like humanoid said to lurk in the swamps near New Orleans.
Hey, that's weird. That's really
Has
weird.
glowing eyes and eats livestock.
Oh, it's like a chupacabra.
Yeah, like a chupa thingy. All right. The Night Marchers.
It sounds too literary. So I'm going to say, I don't know. It just doesn't sound real to me.
That's real.
Damn.
From the Hawaiian tradition, they're phantom warriors who march in ghostly processions.
Wow.
Witnessing them or failing to show proper respect can bring death and ill omen.
Show some respect, folks.
All right.
Aloha.
Mother Ironvale.
Mother Ironvale. She is mother. I'm going to say fake.
That is totally fake.
Yeah. Sounds cool, though.
It does. All right. Cinderfoot Jack.
That sounds like something from like Germanic or like Scandinavian culture. Oh, watch out for Cinderfoot Jack. So I'm going to say real.
I'm sorry, that's entire bullshit. That's just made up.
Damn.
All right. Okay, this one's tough to say. I'm going to try to say Hower Hand.
Well, I know you didn't make it up if it's fake because you don't know how to pronounce it. So I'm going to say it's real.
I'm sorry, that's bullshit. It's not real.
Damn. They're all real in my book.
It's still tough to say, though, because of the way the H's are lined up. All right. The Crasu.
Well, just going by law of averages here, I think this one's real.
For all I know, there was only one real one.
Oh, crap.
That one is real, though.
Okay.
That one is real. That's from Thailand and like Cambodia area. It is the floating head of a woman that trails organs and feeds on the blood and filth of the land by night.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, dude. Pretty fucking hardcore. I love it. All right. The Talipo.
I'm going to go real.
That is real. It's a creature whose tail was stolen and eaten by a hunter at night out of the Appalachians. It comes back whispering, "Talipo, give me my Talipo."
He's just a southern man who was born with a tail and someone took it.
Where's my tail? My mama cut it off.
Give me my Talipo, you son of a bitch.
All right. The Crawling Judge.
That's what we call infants. I'm going to go fake.
That is fake.
Hey.
All right. We are at our last one, and then we tally points.
Talipo.
The Talipo. All right. Shingle Bride.
Just a bride with a bunch of shingles. It's pretty gross. I'm going to go hopefully fake.
That is hopefully fake.
Yay! I didn't do too well, though.
You got 5 out of 10. You hit 50%. That's pretty darn good.
It's like flipping a coin.
Yeah. So that is Legends or Lies.
I like it. And that brings us to some radical recommends.
I recommend.
If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up.
What do you recommend I do?
I recommend Pleasant.
All right, so you're all stuck with me as I travel down my TV list of things I never got to watch, and they've been adding up on my Google Docs for a long time. And now I'm on Sliders, the great Sliders, the great 1995 to 2000 series with Jerry O'Connell and John Rhys Davies of Gimli fame.
Man.
And it's got some other great stars in it, and I don't remember their names, but
Jerry O'Connell's brothers in some of it.
Bo O'Connell or Tally Ho O'Connell. I don't know. It's
Tally Po O'Connell.
That's hard to say. But if you don't know what it is, the premise is this young scientist student, Jerry O'Connell, comes up with a way to travel to different dimensions through this little portal, and they can slide through, and him and 3 other people get trapped with him to go through the portal, thinking that their timer will take them back to their Earth, but instead they get stuck sliding at different random times with their little timer, going to different dimensions of Earth, the same time period, but just different dimensions. And each Earth is slightly different. Sometimes the Germans won World War II. Sometimes men are in the same place as women as far as men's rights and that kind of thing. Things are reversed. It's a lot of fun. It's like a story of the week kind of deal, which I'm loving these days to watch in between working. I was watching Haven and all these other shows that are just kind of old sci-fi story of the week things that don't really happen anymore. But I watched this while it was on. Did you watch it back in the day, Steve?
I watched some of it, but certainly not all of it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's available on a streaming network. Where can I stream it? It is it's Peacock. You can watch it if you have Peacock. Not many folks have that, but I found it on the internet.
How are they bringing back? I know what you did last summer, but they haven't brought back Sliders.
Oh, I know. And I saw an interview with John Rhys Davies from 2022, not that long ago.
Wow.
He's got to be in his late 70s by now. But he was someone asked him about Sliders, and he was saying it's a shame they never brought it back. He said they didn't handle it as well as they could have back in the day. He's like, they could have had a whole franchise with that, with spin-offs, because it's just like a Star Trek kind of premise. Yeah. And he said he'd be happy to do a return to Sliders. So yeah, it's a fun show. It's silly, it's fun, it's very 90s. You'll get some big nostalgia, so check it out. That's my radical recommends. But that brings us to some trailer reviews.
Trailer reviews. Well, we don't do this often, but this week, a trailer I've been very excited for, much anticipation, and that is the final season of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Season 5. Big trailer with first real look footage, some concept of story elements, a few new characters, check-ins with old characters. Really, I am really excited. The show has ebbed and flowed. I'm not going to say every moment was brilliant, though I don't hate season 3, and a lot of people hate season 3. But I'm excited for this conclusion.
Yeah, it's been a while, so I don't remember everything that happened in all the previous seasons, so I'll definitely be watching one of those long-ass YouTube recap videos before it starts. The only thing I remember just thought was weird and I disliked of any of the Stranger Things I've watched, because it's all been amazing, was that attempt they made to make a spin-off show with the other 11s or whatever. That whole scene where she goes to New York or something.
Oh yeah, it was like a pocket episode.
Yeah, and that felt really crappy.
Dimension.
It took me out of things, and it makes sense because they're trying to make a spin-off show, and that's why it didn't really work. But other than that, Stranger Things has never missed for me. It's been great the whole time. I loved every bit of it.
Yeah. So I'm super excited for the finale. Big guesses on someone who's going to die.
So
I want to lock in my vote right now.
Yeah.
I think Steve Harrington is going to bite it.
Because he's so well liked.
So well liked. He has had the bigger character transition. Biggest character transition from season 1.
Oh, yeah.
From being like effectively the homebound villain of the first season.
And a bully, yeah.
And a bully to then like befriending these kids, going above and beyond. I think his death would pay off nicely. I have a bad feeling though it's going to be Jonathan.
Oh, he's too pure to be killed off.
The older brother.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I'm just glad from the trailer. It looks like that what's her face 11 is going to be less of a part of this, which I would really like because I think that actress has gotten way too big for her britches and she's really obnoxious in interviews.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, she's super obnoxious in interviews and totally full of herself. So like, I'd love if they just kind of, and the trailer has barely any of her in it. So I'd love to see her take kind of more of a backseat and let more of the ensemble flourish. And they've done that in a few of the seasons. She hasn't been the main focus of every season. So
yeah, but at the end of the day, she is likely the only one that can stop Vecna.
Yeah.
So
that's
like
true.
even no matter what, she will be at the pinnacle of what's happening.
And that's fine. She's like the ending result, but maybe the journey there doesn't have her as much. That'd be kind of cool. Cause like it's hard to watching her on screen now, knowing how obnoxious she is, but she's a child.
I could not be more excited for Stranger Things season 5 and for the end of a show that had a planned end.
Yes.
I can't remember the last time that friggin' happened. Like Lost had a planned end.
Well, Lost didn't know what the hell they were doing until the end. I thought that's like the opposite.
Well, no. They had a beginning and end and no middle. That's how they did. Like
okay,
the creators knew how they wanted it to end. They had this great gripping intro and they're like, we'll get it.
We'll figure it out. Read the forum, see what they're saying.
But the Duffer Brothers clearly had some idea of this whole story.
They knew where they were going with this. That's I like. And a final planned season. That's a good idea.
So this one is going to be Raul Julia wakes up in the morning, goes, does a shower, brushes his teeth, heads to the kitchen, and as he gets to the entryway to the kitchen from the hallway, it's covered in like pink saran wrap. The whole doorway is covered. Gary, what is this? I'm going to be late. And then Gary steps forward, his silhouette against the pink saran wrap, which he cuts open crudely with a butter knife. Takes a really long time as the veil breaks. And he goes, "Hey, Raul, I lost your keys too. I'm sorry."
God damn it, Gary. Oh, always a trouble. I'm going to give this one. Raul comes home from a long day of shooting a movie, Street Fighter 4. And he gets home and he finds that Gary has sat there and binged 4 seasons straight of Stranger Things. And he's like, oh no, I don't want to see what happens now that he's watched this show. He'll do something crazy and ridiculous inspired by this television show. And Gary just turns to him and he goes, "Hey, Raul, can we play some D&D? And he's like, yes, that would be wonderful. And they just sit down for a nice evening of playing some D&D with some 80s music in the background. It's the most chill Gary has ever been in their relationship.
Who is the DM in this situation?
That's a good question. Alec Baldwin comes in and does it.
Well, I can't do an Alec Baldwin, so you're on your own.
No, I can't do it. No, never mind. That's a bad one.
It's taken us 5 years to get Gary Busey and Raul.
You're right. We should
down.
have a Christopher Walken as the DM. That's the one we get. Wow, roll the dice.
20, roll them.
No, that's a D6. Wrong dice.
I'm sorry, Christopher. They all look the same.
Well, your hat's over your eyes, so pull it up.
Hey, that's my hat.
Oh, Jesus. The game quickly devolves after that.
Yeah. Suddenly Gary's just biting.
Always biting. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 227 of A Play on Nerds. Thanks so much for joining us.
Join us next time for that classic and favorite where AI decides the fate of our show. Nerd Roll of Fortune.
That's right. We'll be back with some AI chosen categories, and Steve and I will talk about random stuff until we decide to stop.
That's right. Till the dice tell us to stop.
That's right. That's right.
All that and more next time on A Play on Nerds. Come on back and be our nerdy audience. We will keep on coming back to be your nerdy co-hosts. Thanks again, Internet.
Stay nerdy, my friends. Thanks for listening to A Play on Nerds. Feel free to email feedback at aplayonnerds.com with all your questions or comments.
Shoot us a message on Facebook or Twitter and earn yourself a sweet shout out on the show.
Review us on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts so even more nerds can find us. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, we aren't picky.
Check out our entire back catalog and other offerings at aplayonnerds.com.
And how?